Yo, what's good,
What's
everyone?
good? What's
Welcome
good?
back. We are doing our 11th album review to Earl Sweatshirt, Sick, which is his fourth studio album. The last project he dropped was his Feet of Clay EP in 2019, and his album, Some Rap Songs in 2018. Um, so yeah, and then Earl Sweatshirt. He's been in a couple, features in 2021 with The Alchemist. So he's been around, like we've been hearing his voice. But other than the actual project, it's been about 4 years besides the EP, but for an actual album. Um,
Yeah. Hmm.
there's a couple tracks. Alchemist is one of the ones who actually like kind of showed that the album was when it was going to be coming out. He produced a couple of tracks, but the majority of the album is produced by Black Noise. Um, I also want to put up. This is the album cover for those who haven't seen and who for
Sick.
those who haven't listened who haven't listened to it
Sick.
yet. Yep. So sick. Let me put that up here this time because last time I know the Corday one I forgot to put it up until the very end. So this time we got it
Yeah,
up there,
they still
right?
knew it, bro.
Yeah, but this actually came from him. I guess it says the album was conceived as a reflection of the world's compromised state of mind during the COVID-19 pandemic, as the artist explained in the press statement. So this is coming from Earl. He said, "Before the virus, I had been working on an album I named after a book I used to read with my mother, The People Could Fly. Once the lockdowns hit, people couldn't fly anymore. A wise man said art imitates life. People were sick. The people were angry and isolated and restless. I leaned into the chaos because it was apparent that it wasn't going anywhere. These songs are what happened when I would come up for air." So that's pretty much why the album is, the way it is. It was going to be a whole nother different thing, but with COVID, kind of hitting, he was even for himself, he was kind of going through it too. Um, so hopefully that gives people a different perspective, on the album from what they may have thought before. I know I've seen some comments and different things like that about how people feel about the album. Um, it's
Mm.
definitely something, before we get into it, it's definitely something that's an acquired taste and something, a little deeper and a little different, something you have to dissect a little more. So we're not going to be able to have like the greatest review, of course, because this album just came out. We did two, we did Corday's album as well. And this one was a lot shorter, it's only 10 tracks, 24 minutes. So we were able to review this as well. But I will say, with Earl's writing style, it's more of like a poetry, more of a poet type of style, a little more deeper, a little more, kind of, thought provoking, where you have to dissect a little more, understand what he's saying. So we might not be able to hit everything, you know what I mean? Um, so I want to make that as a little disclaimer
Yeah.
for people, who's going to be watching this review, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, he barely like says like a whole lot of lyrics on like a lot of his projects in the past. Like, it's a few lines under 2 minutes. Um, but really deep and poetic. As you can see, with the 24 minutes time frame he got on here, so you're like, wow, he giving us in a very short time of what he was feeling during that whole COVID or pandemic. Well, we still in a
we still in
pandemic
it,
as we
yeah.
speak. Still in it, yeah.
Thanks.
We still in
Unfortunately.
it. Unfortunately, yeah. But
But yeah, man, you ready to get into this one?
yeah, I just one thing before we start, I didn't even
Yeah.
know he had this other project, Defeated the Clay. I must have missed that because
Yeah,
after that. That was some rap songs. I heard that, but I didn't hear the Feet of Clay. I missed that.
yeah, that one
I
kind
don't
of
know.
went
I
under the
missed it.
radar. It was just an EP. It kind of, and he came up with a deluxe of it too in 2020.
I
But yeah,
did.
it's one of those ones that like I feel like there wasn't like
Oh, I
like
think
a
I.
promo or anything.
Oh,
Earl's
what?
not
I
really
heard
like
it.
a
I think I
crazy with
haven't heard the
promo.
deluxe. I
Oh
didn't hear
yeah,
the deluxe. Yeah,
I mean he's
that's
not
what.
really like big on promo though too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
sometimes like even with this
yeah. That
album,
was
like
real.
I only knew it was out because of The Alchemist. You know what I mean?
Oh, because he was.
Yeah,
Uh,
like he put it on his
because he
page and
produced.
stuff like
Oh,
that. So
okay.
and he produced a couple tracks. So
Yeah, this one people was promoing it, even not him. Like people was waiting. They're like, oh, Earl finna
yeah,
drop a project. They was
exactly.
finna
Yeah.
go crazy. Finna go
And
crazy.
he has
So
that type of following too, where like Earl's gonna drop and like, oh hold on, I gotta hear this. You know what I mean? Even myself, like I was like, oh Earl's dropping, like, um, but yeah, let's start this one off. So we got track number one, "Old Friend." For me, I thought the beat was super dope, and I thought it was a great opener. It's just short and sweet, you know what I mean? Of course, the whole album is 24 minutes, but just to start off, I feel like it same situation. It sets the vibe of the album. Uh, and I feel like with Earl's style, it's more emotion, and he's more. It's kind of like like I said, with like a poet style, where he's talking. It's more you're talking on the beat. You know what I mean? More than like kind of like a rapping. Like his cadence is like more of like poetry instead of just a
Yeah,
flow.
like
You know what I mean?
rapping, rhyme
Yeah,
scheme.
like
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it was on this one. So that's why I feel like with Earl, like it's sometimes acquired taste too, because if for people, because it's more like more kind of like a poet. If you were at like a with just the beat in the background, really with him talking. Uh, but yeah, I feel like it set the vibe of the album. And you could kind of tell too, like it's a more of a kind of a darker vibe, or more of a little different too. Even so, like with the as the concept, was sick, and how he was feeling during COVID. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or like during the main. Well, I guess we're still in the peak of it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's still in the peak of it. Yeah, it definitely sounded like a Earl beat. Definitely like one of those like those kind of dark type of beats that he's basically saying
that he
what
be
he was
rapping
talking
about.
about. Yeah, he's talking about I think he was like quit smoking weed. I guess he was suffering from his addiction from that a little bit, where it kind of messed up his mental health. He was kind of flaying to it. Basically, like as far as like cigarillos, like he was saying, like tobacco kind of messing up his lungs, messing up his teeth. So um, and I mean, then he was basically talking about him losing friends and finding new people out in the world too, especially with COVID. He may maybe found out who his real friends were, or he may have just found some new ones um during that whole pandemic time. So, but it's just a great opener just to talk about what was going on. I mean, just how people was living during this
Yeah,
whole time. Just trying to
cope
get
and get through.
some sort of
Yeah,
like real true life going through the whole COVID. Trying to have fun and trying to be stable with one another.
yeah, facts. Yeah, we go to track number two, which is 2010. Um, and I know I was seeing a little bit of how they were saying, like I know with like it was kind of like a like also homage to Mac Miller, which is actually his birthday is on this day. Uh, so happy birthday to Mac Miller. I do want to say that.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Happy
and
birthday, Mac Miller. Rest in peace.
yeah, but I guess because he I believe that's for something about like he called a song had a titled 2009 before he dropped a project. So he's kind of like named this one 2010, you know what I mean, as a
Oh,
title, you know what I mean, as like the next one,
next
uh,
year. Oh, I see.
which is pretty interesting take, because they were friends and also had projects, and he produced a lot for Earl when he was Larry Fisherman, when he went under that alias. uh,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
so they
Totally
have a lot
forgot
of work
about that.
together. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have a lot of work together. Like Larry Fisherman was working with all of them at that time, like Earl Sweatshirt, Absol, Danny Brown, like a lot of those guys. But he was Larry Fisherman, so a lot of people, if you really knew, you knew. But like that, like he was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Um, but yeah, I thought to me the beat was super fire on this one. It's kind of one of those beats like when you first hear it, you kind of have that stank face. When you hear, it, you're like
Like,
oh, okay,
ugh.
like,
He's
yeah,
like, yeah, yeah. This is like the Earl. Yeah, he's gonna flow in this one. Like,
yeah, it's kinda like at that odd
this is him.
future had that odd
Yeah.
future type of, you know what I mean, one of them odd future beats, like, from back in the days or something. One of the lines I like too that I thought was a witty line when he said 5 O's on me like the Olympics,
Oh
and a
yeah, I
gold
wrote that
something
down.
for me,
Yeah,
don't mix it. Yeah, that was dope
the
because,
ounces, like the
yeah, you know what I
Olympics,
mean,
talking
like
about
5 O's
weed.
something, and then,
Yeah,
like, the Olympics, and people who, know the Olympics, it's you
it's the
know,
O,
the
the
5,
O's,
the
the
5
logo.
circles, for the rings, the 5
Yeah,
rings, you know what I mean? So 5 O's, I thought that was a crazy bar. Probably one of the best bars on the album for sure. Uh, and then also
Yeah,
when he said after that, when he said pure gold, something told me don't mix it. Like, the play on words with the Olympics, the gold medal,
yeah.
yeah. So that I just thought that was dope. Uh,
Nah, that
but
was
yeah,
dope. Yeah, he
how you
was.
go about
Yeah. Nah. This was a dope track. Yeah, he got a
yeah,
music
one of my
video to
favorites.
this one. Yeah, this one of my favorites too. It's one of like one of my top favorite Earl songs on here, and you know, basically the beat was definitely good. Sound like an old future, uh, reminiscent type of beat. He talked about his mother. I guess his mother is a teacher for the civil rights and civil liberties at UCLA. Saying he got some knowledge over there with them, and yeah, he's basically saying yeah, late night rides, and it's good to clear your mind sometimes. When you driving alone by yourself, you gotta clear your mind, and he's probably thinking about all different things and
Yeah,
how to get through this whole COVID and how to go through the sickness of what we was all going through still. And you know, that's that's something that was a big part of people's lives and mindset throughout this whole thing. Um,
yeah. That's a fact. Like, everyone trying to cut their own way, and also, I know the Alchemist kind of talked about that. I think someone interviewed him and asked him about Earl, and he was saying, like working with Earl is dope because he's younger than him, but he learns a lot from him. You know what I mean?
oh
And you could
yeah,
tell, that's just as an educated person. You know what I mean? So like, uh, kind of like on the lines of what you said, about his mom and stuff. But yeah, definitely a dope track. We're going to track number 3, which is Sick. The title of
title,
the album, you know what I
subtitle,
mean, title
sick.
track. Um, he had a this one was dope to me. And he had a line that was he had a couple lines that were cool. Or the first one was when he said, I think in the very beginning when he says something gotta give, spin another web, head home, mess with Fisk like I'm Spider-Man, which is a dope line because um like of course, the Spider-Man, like all the movies that came out was like heading home, far away from home, you know what I mean? So he's like, head
Yeah.
home. And then also uh mess with Fisk, which is Fisk is basically the name of
Oh, that's the
the villain, one of the
villain,
villains
right?
who his name is Kingpin. His like, he's known by
Yeah.
Kingpin, but yeah, like Fisk is one of the like in the comics and stuff like that, in the Spider-Man kind of like he's one of the villains. So I thought that was just a dope play on words, you know what I mean, as far as like, talking about kind of like, um like drugs and stuff like that, but comparing it to, or like using the analogy like Spider-Man or the metaphor, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just thought that was dope the way he uh used that scheme, the Marvel, with Marvel and Spider-Man. So
Yeah. No, that was a definitely good metaphor towards the track. Yeah, because Eric got you thinking a lot, especially on his songs and music. Yeah, it definitely goes a play on words, and kind of got you going over your head through it. Thinking about the record. I know he was, sickness. So I know it's definitely had to be about the COVID. Uh, Basically going outside every day, trying to balance that. And yeah, I forgot what else he was saying about this. We weren't really
oh, he
saying
said
too.
he said I could count the chips, not on what the teller said. That's expensive shit, like my uncle Fila said. Um Basically that Fela Kuti, he's a Nigerian artist. Like
Artist.
he's
Oh,
one
he's
of like
like
the
a poet or
pioneers.
something.
Now he's
Mm.
one of like the pioneers for like Afro beats, right?
Oh, okay.
Um and basically he has a song called Expensive Shit made in 1975. So that's what the line is based off of, you know what I mean? But he's super popular artist, especially in, Africa, of course. But like he's one of those guys, like I said, pioneer for Afrobeats, and Afrobeats is, more popular than it's ever been today. Um, I listen to Afrobeats a lot, I do know who Fela Kuti is too, because I've heard him. I want to say a couple years ago is the first time I've heard him. I don't know too much about him, but he's basically the one who is also in the outro
Mm.
of the song. You know that little message at the end, and
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
like
read the message too for people, who um either haven't heard it or like it's kind of like in the background, so you might have either skipped it or just I mean, or want to listen, but
yeah,
it's
it's like the
actually
last like 10, 15 seconds,
yeah,
right?
but what he says is really deep too. I guess it was in an interview of his like from a while back, of course. So he said, so really art is what is happening at a particular time of a people's development or an underdevelopment, you see. So I think as far as Africa is concerned, music cannot be for enjoyment. Music has to be for revolution. Really working with the people, enlightening the people, and doing your duty as a citizen to play music and act and do something about the system. If you feel bad about it, do something about it. So you know what I mean? Like basically, he was saying like in Africa at that time, even with the music he was making, yeah, of course, people enjoy the music, just listen to it, but there's a message for it to get
There's a
people to
message. Yeah,
to get people active and get people to move, to fight against the system, with like people like Bob Marley and like a whole lot of artists who had a lot of messages in the song to against the the systems, to get people to think and to get people to go against these people instead of just not doing nothing at all and just basically letting the governments and corrupt or the powers that be basically walk all over them. So basically that's what he was saying. And remember, he was speaking at a different time,
yeah,
and I think that speaks very truthful for now too. What I mean, with a lot of things that are going on, like I feel like even for someone like Earl, I mean, a message like that, you could tell his music, there's a message in it, what I mean, especially
yeah.
now. I feel like especially since he's been solo, I feel like he's been a lot more thought provoking and a deeper artist. You know what I mean? Since he's gone away from Our Future, I feel like he's kind of gone
Oh
into
yeah,
his own. It's a lot more deeper.
yeah.
So
So
uh,
definitely hold meaningful behind him. Yeah, because
yeah,
music is like a revolution thing. It's like a more
yeah.
power to the message and
Especially that's how
what
hip
people
hop
trying to
started. You
portray.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that hip hop was like revolution music. Fighting the system, fighting the power. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And of course, speaking on where you came from, but also had a message to it. You know what I mean? Like this is where I live. This is where I'm from. Like you guys don't want to go. Like we're trying to get past that. You know what I mean? And
yeah. That's
they kind of take over and stuff like that. And then that's when you
hmm
talk about jewels and cars and fashion and sex and
yeah.
stuff like that. So, what I mean? It's like it's
That's it.
enjoyable, it's cool,
That's
but at the end
it.
of the day, like we're not gonna get nowhere if we don't have music that's like
That's going.
hit
That's
somewhere else,
going.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, uplift us and
Or make people think, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Earl, like he has music that makes you think, like you might have to research something, you know what I mean? Or Jay Electronica, like I said before, like he had
yeah,
those songs that you might listen to and you're like, damn, I might have to research a couple things, you know what I mean? Like I gotta actually,
yeah.
look this up.
Got you
So
slipping. Yeah,
yeah,
just
that was
thinking
a
outside the
little
box though. Yeah.
that was a little pure rap pure rap facts right there. PRP facts, you know what I mean, for people who don't know who Fela Kuti is. So you know, go check out his music too. Even you, bro, like he had like it's
Yeah.
dope, bro. Like it's kind of like that
Feel like
jazz,
Coochie,
I mean, kind
yeah.
of Afro
Afro
beats, that
beat.
jazz, that
I'm gonna have to.
very African, you know what I mean? Like it's super dope music, bro. Like and it's really good. Like I would say check
Feel
it out
like
on your own time.
Coochie. Yeah, he got plays.
Oh yeah, he's like
He got plays.
You know who Burner Boy is?
Yeah, Burner Boy. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
he looks up like to I mean he's like
Oh, to
that's like
him.
Fela Kuti's like even all of them, like he's one of those like I said, he's one of those pioneers, like he's one of those guys, you know what I mean, that they all look up to, you know what I mean. So um
Burner Boy. Yeah,
yeah,
he be jamming.
yeah, Burna Boy, yeah, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, he's one of my favorites too, bro. Like I be listening I got a little playlist too, like I made on my own, like Afro beats and stuff that I be listening to, like sometimes
Oh,
before I go
snap.
to bed or something, it's calming, I just be chilling, I'm like, or I'm washing dishes, I put it on, I'm like, bro, like I said, I listen to like hip hop is my main, but I listen to
It's
like
a man.
I be
Yeah,
listening to
we all
everything on my
gotta.
own time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, we definitely gotta change it up every now and then. You
yeah.
know.
So, but yeah. How'd you feel about
Yeah, sick. Nah, it was a it was a dope track. Um, for sure. You know him about the whole Uncle Fella cover. I mean, it's just about just about the whole COVID thing. That's what I really kind of got a sense of, or just the self title of the track. It's just him, just going through the whole COVID situation. Ain't really had too much, but nah, it was a dope track.
yeah, this one was
Um,
very short too, so it
yeah, it was
wasn't
very
like
short.
a whole lot.
So
But yeah, we go track we go
yeah,
track number 4, um, which is Vision featuring Loopers. Z.
Loopers.
I never knew how to actually say that. Guessing that's how it's Loopers, but I've known him for a long time, but I never really got into his music.
Oh, I
Um,
ain't never heard. I ain't
so
first time.
he's Danny Brown, obviously.
Yeah, Danny Brown.
I just heard something, but yeah, so he's part of Danny Brown's group, the Bruiser Brigade.
Mm-hmm.
Based in Detroit and stuff like that. Like he's from Detroit, they're all from Detroit. But I remember I knew Bruiser Brigade back in the days. Like they actually came up with a group album too, which I feel bad, called TV 16. And I forgot to put that as an honorable mention in my when we were talking about the albums of 2021, because I really enjoyed the album, and I even had a couple songs on them on my playlist, and I was like, damn, how did I forget about that? But yeah, it basically was the whole group. It was a collab, compilation album for their group, and Zulupers is one of the artists on the part of Danny Brown's group, which is the Bruiser Brigade. They got freestyles on it from, you remember Pitchfork when they used to do those selector freestyles, like
Yeah,
ASAP,
yeah,
Mob had one, the Pro Era had one, they had one
yeah.
as well, and
Oh,
like a
that was a
boxing
minute
ring.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that was back in the day, but this is how far, like, that they, he even Zulooper is like, he's in the freestyle from back then. So like
Mm.
that's when I first heard of him. And this is like 2000, like we were in high school, so it was a while back for sure. But yeah, he's getting more popular. He had an album as well last year. And his name is getting bigger out there. He's definitely an acquired taste. He's not like, what I mean, like Danny Brown, like lyrical like that, but he has his own style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Nah, I mess with
as
his
you could
flow.
tell, even from the
Flow on his
song, yeah,
track.
like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's dope. It's like, something that a lot of people like a lot of people like that sound. You know what I mean? So, um, but yeah, that once again another PRP fact, for people who don't know who that is.
Yeah, we on the facts shit. We on
Yeah,
the
that's the
facts on
PRP.
this one.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I want to give that information out. But yeah, to me, this is one of my favorite songs as well, because the production, the beat is
Yeah.
dope on this one. And even when Earl started off, when he said, he said, I did some dirt with the click, when got clicked by myself. Like, he's talking about, our future days, but left and, clicked up by himself, basically, solo as
Yeah.
a solo artist, and, did his own thing and very successful with it. And also the outro, had a good message as well, with the magic, of truth with the black children and stuff like that. I'm not sure where that like that sample came from, or where he got it from, or who was the one speaking.
Oh, at the
But
end. Yeah,
yeah,
it
at the
seemed like
very
it
end,
always
when
got
the
somebody
black,
speaking. Yeah.
the black truth, like, because they were talking about, like, like what basically, like, about magic for black children, but they're like, black children need the magic of truth. Like, we don't need magic or, like, anything special to, we just need the truth. You know what I mean? Like, and make sure we spread that information, that education, to our black children. So, like you said, man, like before, like, he just be having them deep. You know what I mean? He have his own
Deep
lyrics, but those
moments.
messages at
Yeah.
the end, are definitely been hidden. So yeah, this was a dope track though, for sure. One of my
Yeah.
favorites.
Nah, this is mad dope from Z Looper or is it Looper?
The Loopers.
Z Looper, yeah. Nah, he was flowing really good. Like I don't even know who he was, but like he
Yeah,
was
you can
going
check out his
in.
album. You can check out that TV 16 album by Bruiser
Oh,
Brigade.
okay.
Super
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Nah, I'll definitely write that in my notes. Yeah, and definitely play that. But nah, it was nah, he was
I'm not
definitely
sure what the
flowing on
name of his,
here.
I'm not sure what the name of his album is though. But you could
Mm.
just type in his name and it'll pop up. So
Oh, okay. On that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think he was what was Earl on here. He was talking about the unemployment thing was going crazy at that time. Like people was going crazy on the whole unemployment. They was getting that money on the
shit, I was
during
too.
the COVID. Well, I
Hey,
know
bro.
everybody was because he was like, yeah, man, it felt like it was a drought. Like it was like nobody was gonna make no money. Like nobody was doing
Yeah,
anything.
bro. At first,
Like
it's like, damn,
nothing was on the
what's about to happen?
shelves. Like come on, like toilet paper
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
on
in
the
that very
shelves.
beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, you can't believe you paid for that. Like, whatever's like on the shelf at that time. So I mean, um, yeah, it was definitely a different time at that time, especially find that toilet paper,
Like when it first, yeah, when it
yeah,
first, like
first
no
happened,
one
it was
knew absolutely no idea
yeah,
what was about to happen. Like everyone thought like the whole world was about to just like
yeah.
die
It was
damn
about the
near.
whole
I
world
was
about to
like, what the
crumble
hell?
at once because you just didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
what was
like
going on. But nah, I'm glad he had to touch on that because I mean, shoot, I ain't never seen a time of a lifetime like that where you had to go
well,
find
in our
toilet
lifetime,
paper. Yeah, in our lifetime or any
you know
lifetime
what
at
I
that
mean?
matter. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
I'm sure it's happened in the past in different times. Obviously,
yeah,
there's been
probably yeah,
pandemics and different stuff
yeah,
and worse like
yeah,
plagues and stuff like that. But we just for our time, it's like I think we sometimes we get a little too comfortable. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And act
No,
like
that's true.
something like that can't happen. You know what I mean? Um,
Nah,
especially with these
I
scientists
really
and stuff
think
out
that.
here wilding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't know what they be doing. Uh, you know what I mean? It's
Nah,
like,
they
hey, hold
do.
on. But yeah,
Nah, they.
bro. Talking about bats and shit. I'm like, bro, they're over here experimenting. You know what I mean? Kind of like all this crazy stuff. But it's like, um, but uh, yeah, man, we're going to the next track. Track number 5. I believe it's Tabula Rasa,
Tabula
featuring
rasa.
featuring Armin Hammer. If you don't know who Armin Hammer is, I know with some of these features, I know probably a lot of people they definitely underground people who getting better. Armin Hammer is actually a duo of two people. Um, basically a Lucid, and I believe Billy Woods is the name of the other artist. And they also had they have an album as well. That was another
Mm.
honorable mention that I totally forgot to write down. So like I said, so many albums in 2021, it's hard to remember every single one. But they had an album
What?
with all produced by Alchemist called Haram.
Oh,
It's
I
the one with
think
the
I
pig.
may
It
have
was the one with the
the
pig,
pig. Oh,
the pig
okay.
on the cover. Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
their album, and that was literally one of the best albums in 2021. And I
Yeah,
felt
no,
bad
it was.
I
Yeah, I
didn't.
heard it was a good one. Yeah, I heard it.
It was a
That was a
really
good
good
one.
album, man. And as you could tell, even from this track, like the beat was very smooth, and like I said, it's one of those poetic tracks with the beat. Like you feel like the beat's just playing in the background, but it feels like they're more just speaking, like they're just talking. Like it's more like a poetry. Like in poetry, sometimes they be saying stuff and you have no idea what the hell they're even talking about. You know what
No,
I mean?
but
Like,
there's a
but
thin,
then
clear lining that there's some type of meaning towards that though.
yeah, exactly. But then you look a little deeper into it, and you're like, oh, okay, I understand what they're saying. You know what I mean? Same thing. Like even with a Lucid in his first verse, he said, I like one line that he had where he said, some talk like they never got punched in the face. Like some, you know what I mean? Like some people be
Yeah,
talking like either reckless or acting like like
yeah, talking.
they never been humbled by real life. You know what I mean? Some
Mhm,
people act like nothing could happen to
yeah,
them until it
real.
does. You know what I mean? So like for us, you know what I mean? We're very humble and we talk because we've been through things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not for sure.
So
Yeah,
some people talk like
definitely.
they never been punched. Like you need to not necessarily like you're not literally punching someone in the face, but like until life hits you. You know what I mean? You're talking a little crazy. Like hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Do you really
Um,
feel that buzzed?
yeah, and then also Billy Woods in his second verse. To me, he had the best verse on the track. And like I said, those are the type of verses you got to dissect. You know what I mean? Like he mentioned, certain African figures. You know what I mean? Who
Yeah, poets or
I don't.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he named even like some of them who I think are like generals or like one was a president or a revolutionary. Like he named a few of them. Like yeah, like I said, those are the type of things you gotta. Those are the
you
type of
gotta
verses that
do
mean good because you
research.
gotta do some research. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I gotta do some research.
you
Black
know it's a
history
good
on them.
verse when you
Yeah,
gotta do a history lesson. You know what I mean? So like I said, like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know who they are. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
that's why you have
that's
these
that's
type of verses and these type of people who put the shine that shine the light on these on the especially like African figures, people who we don't know. Those are our roots too. So it's like let me go do my research and see who these guys are that he's talking about because they got to be important. You know what I mean? If he's talking about them on a track, you know what I mean? Especially in 2020 two
yeah,
on Earl
yeah.
Sweatshirt album. It's like, oh, I gotta go listen to this. I gotta and then also he said I like one line that he had too where he said niggas tired of the foolishness, no disrespect. It's a lot of mids in the room.
Oh,
Like a lot
it
of
was
mids.
name
Like
dropping.
it's like
Yeah,
yeah, because it's like hold on, like man, there's a lot of foolishness going on. Like we need people out here, really rapping. Like who's dropping wisdom and knowledge, and there's a lot of just foolish. And like of course there's a time and place for everything, but at the end of the day, it's like we're getting older. We're trying to learn. You know what I mean? We're trying to learn something. Especially these days. You know what I mean? Um, and like you said, there's a lot of mids in the room, and that's how I feel about you know, a lot of these rappers who are out now, there's like a lot of mids, using that
Nah,
slang,
man,
that new Twitter,
the
there's a
little
lot of mids,
rappers.
a lot of mids.
It's a lot of
That's
little rappers in the building. A
facts.
lot of okay rappers in the
Yeah,
building.
right. And it's
Nah,
true though. Like speaking facts, because I'm sure a lot of people they can't rap like that. You know what I mean?
nah, nah, you
And
can't.
also I'll finish it by saying Earl, you know what I mean? Earl Sweatshirt doing his thing as usual. He had one line too where he said asymptomatic, but I get sick of the delays. I thought that was a dope bar because it's like, when you're asymptomatic, like, you
Yeah,
got it, but you
but
got
you
no
don't really.
symptoms or nothing.
Yeah,
It's
you got
like,
no symptoms. Yeah,
but then he said, I'm sick of the delays, like, like we're like, the play on words, you know what I mean? Like, like sick, it's basically a delayed sickness, you know what I mean? Like you don't really
yeah.
get,
You don't really
and
get.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, nah. That's a crazy play on word though. For real,
Yeah.
the way he did that. Yeah, Earl. Yeah, didn't he talk about a line? He was talking about that telephone game line. Where people used to play the telephone, like you talk to somebody ear and you tell them like something, and like
And you have to wait till it gets to the other side.
yeah, he's like, yeah, I had a right to find a balance. This game of telephone massive.
Bro,
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. That's a good line, bro, because you know what he means by that, right? So,
what?
like, basically, with the whole COVID situation, the
Yeah.
pandemic, like, it's like a game of telephone. Like, you're telling someone something, and we're getting all this information,
Hmm.
but by the time it gets to the other end, a whole nother thing comes out, right? And
Oh
that's
yeah,
how it's
yeah.
that's
Oh yeah. Yeah, that just slayed differently right now. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
those
even
hits.
think about that. Yeah, because
Yeah, I
it's
think it's
different. Because everybody got their own different story behind it, or every
yeah,
people
like
got their
or
different meaning and everything. Yeah, it's different. Damn,
yeah, and then
damn, that's
next thing you
crazy.
know, it's
Yeah,
like a year later, even now, it's like
yeah.
from not even imagine what they said when the pandemic first started to
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 now,
today in 2022, bro, it's completely the opposite, completely different, and just a whole bunch
yeah,
of
like
lies
the
and confusion.
mask. Yeah,
It's
like
like,
the confusion is different. Yeah,
yeah, so
nah,
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation to be had too. So shout out Earl Sweatshirt. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Bro, when you said that line, I didn't think about it until I thought about it.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, it just dawned on me too. I was like, I know it has some type of meaning to it, but I couldn't think
saying like
clearly about it. But now
you
just
gotta figure that stuff out. Like,
yeah, but see, yeah, that's why I'm
I make
reviewing it now. See, now I know the concept, but it
makes him a
um
good writer. He's definitely a good writer, bro. That's for sure. Like, I feel like he slept on as like his writing ability. Like, um,
yeah,
but
no,
yeah,
he
bro.
did. It definitely yeah, basically yeah, and then another thing he was talking about like the weed is like messing up the he was like practice and what I preach, keep pace, the calcium on my teeth fade from smoking weed. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, he's like, man, it's kind of messing up my teeth.
Yeah,
That
you gotta get
you
healthy.
gotta you gotta get healthy on it. So you're on the
Yeah,
dentist vibes, but now Earl, Earl had his messages on here on this track too. I messed with the other different people that was on here too. Billy Woods
yeah,
was doing his thing.
yeah. Go
Um,
check out that album, bro.
yeah, I definitely checked that album.
Really good.
I was definitely wrote that line too about the mids in the room. I thought that
Yeah,
was a cool line that he put that out there. Like he was saying, like
there's a lot of mids
people,
in the room.
yeah,
That's
there's a lot of mid. Like I ain't never
yeah.
heard nobody say that. Like it was
I
people
never
going
heard someone say it like that either.
yeah. So
That's
the way
crazy.
how effortless he is, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like you really
So now
saying the
you
name.
know. Hey,
Hey, you put a name for yourself. And yeah, Luke it was it Luke it was it Luke it
Lucid.
Lucid. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
he's the guy in the first verse.
he had a dope verse. Um, and then I like the background vocals of the song too. Um, I thought that was really cool the way it sounded towards how it played around and had that effect to it. I believe they had a video to this song too, and I didn't get a chance
Oh
to
shit,
look at it.
I gotta go check that out. Then I'm about to.
Um,
Hey,
yeah, they got a video to that, so I thought it was pretty cool. I might have to check that out. I know I seen it on that little thumbnail, but I didn't really get a chance to click on it. But
oh, I see it right here. It looks like a little old school kind of vibe.
yeah, on the
I
vibe.
might have
So
to. I might react to that on my YouTube channel. Matter of fact.
oh, hey, we
Uh,
got some more content to think about, more
Facts,
ideas to
bro.
pray about. Yeah, so
But yeah, we're going to track number 6, which is "Lie."
lie.
Um, I believe lies like that cleaning like stuff like for like the like they use it. Some people use it for like the hair straightener and stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
really? Mm.
yeah. But yeah, this one was dope, and I like how he said some or same one that I forgot to praise still above me. Um, what I mean, like talking about basically God, like what I mean, like he forgot to praise him, but he's still above me. You know what I mean? He also had a line later on, basically talking about calling out for Lord, calling out for the Lord, looking high, looking low and high. Basically, also why he's high. You know what I mean? Literally meaning why he's
Yeah.
high as well. But
Above.
oh, and then he said, finally found it at the core of my dim environment. Oh, what's a little lie? What's a little lie? And from basically my theory on that is, um, it could be like Earl, finding, God after all this time. Because remember, like the early Odd Future, like Earl is like, atheist kind of like, they'd be
Mm.
having all these them crazy lines, like they be like, they hey, our future was crazy, bro. But I feel like,
Yeah.
after those days, it could be, a play on words of when he says like, like what's a little lie? Like maybe like he was lying to himself about his beliefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe he just didn't feel that way and he was just trying to fit in. You know what I mean? After all this time, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people just try to find themselves, and you might find God. You know what I mean? Through all that, especially during the COVID times too. Like a lot of people probably found God through that. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah. No, I definitely feel
pray,
that. I definitely
yeah, like
think you was.
prayed and stuff like that. So, but also it's kind of like a lie basically, which is like you said, about the hair straightener thing, because I had to look it up, and
Mm.
it could be like a play on words to like like to set him straight, like what I mean, what's a little lie, like to set him straight, you know what I mean,
Oh.
like you know what I
Sounds
mean, like
straight like the
yeah, I
hair.
was trying to like
hair down.
dissect it a little bit to see, but I
Yeah.
could be completely 100% wrong, like you know what I mean,
Yeah.
but
It
that's
could
what
be
these things
having.
about,
It
you know
could
what I mean,
have
like
10 different meanings,
have
and
a
we
whole nother
still.
meaning, yeah. So he only one that's gonna know that is him, you know what I mean. So like these are the type of tracks too I wish you could like sit down with the artist. Like I wish I could like sit down with the artist and like let me ask you about these lyrics so you could let me know like let me know the background about these lyrics. Like these are the type of ones
Yeah. Nah.
I wish I
Those
could
are.
do that.
Yeah. This was a nice beat. This was like a old soul feel type of beat for Earl. Yeah, maybe he was really finding God in this track, especially during the whole COVID time. I mean, him trying to just you know hold your head down, praying and just kind of trying to get away his sins and through all that tough times during that time. Um, just praying for better days, especially with whole pandemic. I mean, you just
Right.
trying to keep your mind straight, trying to keep the whole his whole family or himself or the people around him straight on track, just to keep rolling and try to manifest something throughout this COVID you know time they were going through, through we all going through. So but yeah, no, it was definitely a good track too. It was one of my favorites too on here for sure.
Yeah, that's a fact. So we're going to track number 7, which is Lobby. Um
Lobby.
yeah, this was one of those, super, super short tracks. Beat was dope as well though. And also I know this is one of those ones too where kind of like what you were talking about, like I feel like a lot of it was, him also dealing, probably with, just marijuana and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just weed, like
Yeah,
his, I must have had like a little addiction to it or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know. Yeah,
just
from the cover, I forgot he had like pills on the top of that. Then he got the whole N95 mask on the on the album cover. So like, no,
yeah,
that just portrays a lot through these
yeah,
tracks.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because the cover definitely shows a lot, even like a history. You know what I mean? Like with the, the Africa,
Africans.
and
Yeah,
then you got the little sage. You know what I mean? The sage burning, on the
sage
side. So
burner,
it's like you could tell like he's, trying to, find himself. You know what I
find a
mean?
message
Through
through.
all that.
Yeah,
So it's a whole lot. Definitely like he says, sick, and it could be different meanings of sick too. You know what I mean? Dealing with addictions and dealing with what I mean, like yourself, like trying to and better yourself, get healthy, get all that stuff. So I feel like even with that cover alone, like it got, has this message. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah, sick of being, depression during that time.
yeah,
Mental health
yeah, depression, mental health. You
was
know what I mean?
yeah, it wasn't
All
right
that.
during that time. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
but
fact.
I know the concept when you see the album cover, you're thinking of like the whole COVID because of the mask and
Yeah,
how you dealing with that type of pain through it. Um,
yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day too, what also that it represents also like I said, with a lot of the African, figures that they're talking about, a lot of the, I mean, like a lot of different things. Like you tell he gonna going back and spreading that education and like those names and stuff like that. Like, because I feel like a lot of what's been happening too is even with like a lot of people who catch COVID and a bunch of cures and stuff, like you're kind of going back to those natural, what are those natural, remedies with the herbs and vitamins and things like that, and it kind of goes back to what I mean,
yeah,
like the roots and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people have been going back in that direction too, which is a good thing because you know that's our history. So
yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It goes all back to our history, to our roots, and trying to portray that any type of way. So
and I like the line too. We said heavyweight on my back, Chamberlain with the stats like that. That was pretty dope. You know what I mean? So he just had, he has some dope lines in this one, but yeah, it was pretty dope track. Yeah, you want to go into the next one, or you got something to add to that?
nah, no, I really ain't got too much to it. Yeah, I think that was kind of my concept of the feel of the track. Um, yeah, I got too much for that one.
Nice. All right, then track number 8, which is God Laughs, and I thought this was a dope track as well too. How'd you feel about this one?
Yeah, this was a good track. I guess he was talking about his grandfather. I guess he spoke 13 languages. That's incredible to hear. 13 languages ain't something easy to do or something to do. But yeah, I like how he was. This was really personal. Um, this was more about his grandfather that passed away from dementia. Um, so I know the true pain hurts going through that. Knowing somebody special that was in your life,
Oh,
and
yes, I guess the way he was saying like
yeah,
uh his grandfather spoke 13 languages, but I guess like he didn't really even have much to say though in general.
yeah,
Like he spoke like he was very intelligent like her, but didn't really have much. That's crazy.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it was just real personal about that. Just going through a dark time when somebody passes you care about the most, and you trying to shed some light there and trying to uplift yourself through that time of grieving. So I know that that's a difficult time for him. Um, but yeah, no, this is definitely a good track by that. I don't. You had anything else for that?
Yeah, a couple of lines too. Is one where he said right before the 13 languages one, when he said, "These days I'm mindful of what I embrace, operating on an empty tank, spank me, fumes fueling a flame." Like I thought that was dope. You know, what I mean, just about the things that you embrace. You know, what I mean, if it's what I mean, like you said, drugs or people or friends or whoever you have around, like he's basically mindful of all that now, like very aware, but also operating on an empty tank. You know what I mean? And gotta, he's smoking. You know what I mean? All that stuff. Another line, when he said, "Keep changing, for the better. What to do when your job thankless." Um, it's also another thing that, I mean, if we're gonna stay
Oh
on the
yeah,
lines of the pandemic, I mean, those jobs,
your
basically
job.
being thankless, like you feel like you did so much for your job, whatever, and then all of a sudden, like, what I mean, like you either want or like you just like even with the a lot of people getting fired or this and that or
Yeah,
gotta
over a
stay
shot.
gotta
Yeah,
stay home or this and that, and then but then turn them turning around and try to hire you again, but now it's like I ain't going back. I'm getting this money over here, like what I mean. I'm doing
yeah,
something else now. Like you had your chance, what I mean. Like a lot of jobs are basically showing that like the true colors, like these companies, what I mean.
Yeah, they didn't really care too
Like if
much.
you're
They
not
just
paying enough, like you're just replacing people. Like you don't, yeah, like I said, like bro, yeah, you pay, pay these people, man. Like
pay people. Yeah.
yeah,
People
um,
didn't want to pay them, so they just off to doing something different, and
facts.
was taking unemployment to a whole nother level. It was just they was just gravitating to that money because they knew
Yeah,
it was way better money of
yeah, because
doing
it's like
that, staying home
exactly
than
people were
working.
realizing
Yeah,
like, damn, like, I gotta do much more with this than what I mean.
yeah,
But of course that don't last forever. But what I
yeah.
mean,
I
like,
don't, no, I don't.
but but it also shows though, like it's more pressure on the company because it's like, bro, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. They was going through a trial tribulations through that. You got people that just they really outside, but that don't want to come in for interviews. That don't want to get hired. Don't want to get
yeah,
these
because people,
jobs. But
because think is my
yeah,
thing is people will work. I mean, anyone will work,
yeah.
but
Anybody will work.
it's
Yeah,
got to be worth my time. And
yeah. Worth your
my effort.
time and
Like,
energy, effort.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like, bro, like if I'm not gonna go to this job over here when they're paying, this much, or this at home job that I could go get when they're paying this much, and you're over here paying 13,
yeah,
like you're paying 12, like it's like, bro, what?
yeah.
Like, come on.
It don't really add
It
up
don't
to
add
certain
up. It's
people
like, bro,
feel.
I'm not
So
doing too much, and especially if you're
yeah,
putting your life on the line too, basically, or like you're risking your health. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah. During that
certain
time,
jobs.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but yeah, we're going to track number 9, which we have two more tracks. Titanic. And how'd you feel about this one, man? I think this was one of the singles as well that he dropped. I'm not sure if there's a music video to it, but yeah.
Um, yeah. I'm not sure we got a music video to this one. But now this was a definitely good track. Um, this definitely could be definitely a metaphor or overthinking track. Titanic, we thinking like sinking ships. We're thinking
Yeah,
water and stuff. But this could be like sinking ships of like a friends, like you just putting down some of the friends that kind of did you wrong. So you kind of just want to put those down to the side and just kind of overshadow different ones, other friends in your life. And um I like how he put that line. He was like, "Get
yeah.
ghost like I need a killer." Like, yeah. So I don't know if people watch that Power, that 50 Cent show, like Ghost, like so good. It's a dope show. So I'll go ahead and put that line in there because that's a fire show for people that didn't watch it. But
That's crazy. It also mean like the ghost face too. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, that could be
Ghostface
another
Killer.
throw on
Yeah.
like yeah,
I
could
like
be
the one where he
another.
said too, where he said like you look drained, you should get some rest. You know what I mean? Like kind of like he said like the Titanic too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you know what I mean? Basically like you look drained, like you should get some rest. Basically like the Titanic when it starts draining basically
yeah,
like or sinking
yeah.
really like you know what
Thinking
I mean?
that's singing
Yeah,
yourself like you tired yourself, so you need to just catch some Z's. You need to sleep. So
yeah.
yeah, um,
But yeah, definitely dope track. Like I said, like a lot of the songs, like you said before, like just 1 minute, 2 minutes.
yeah,
So you got to get what you get from the, I mean, the from the verses. Um, but yeah, this is definitely one of those tracks too, like you said, that you could dissect more as well.
yeah. You could dissect a ton of more, but
Yeah, like if I
that's
had
kind of
more
what I
time with
got
this
a little
album,
bit off of that.
yeah, like if I had more time with this album, I for sure would have been able to give a better, like, I mean, more information, more review, like, cause I like to like dissect things like this too. But yeah, we'll finish it off with track number 10, the outro track, Fire in the Hole.
Yeah, it's like this is like the best song on the album. Um,
The production was smooth, bro.
woo,
It's like that smooth
effortless.
hip hop
Yeah,
vibe too. Like,
yeah, this song was effortless. This was like
yeah,
yeah,
Black
this
Noise
was
did his thing. I'm not really too familiar with him as like a producer, but
mm,
he's produced most of these tracks, and this is another one that he produced too. So like, uh, shout out! I just want to give a shout out to Black Noise too, because like you really did your thing with the production on this album.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah, especially the last
definitely set
one.
the tone.
The
Yeah,
the last one's definitely a dope one. This is like a sentimental track, especially this is about his relationship with his girlfriend that he's no longer with her, I think. So he's kind of just reminiscing about that and with that time they had during his relationship with her. Just kind of um mix some Beetlejuice. Oh, I went ahead and mixed some Beetlejuice with the wine. I'm thinking Beetlejuice of the movie. I don't
You
know.
know, I never seen that movie before, so I wouldn't.
Oh,
If
for
that
real?
has, nah, if it is,
Nah, I
I
don't.
wouldn't know what.
Oh snap! I don't know. That's a classic movie back in the day. I'm surprised you ain't watched that. Oh, I didn't know you never seen that one. Um,
Yeah, but yeah, some good rhymes too. Even like the take he be taking oath to the sword. The shell took a couple chinks, but it never broke. Like he says, like you know what I mean, or even like, if it is about the relationship or whatever you're saying, like you know what I mean, like we took an oath to the sword, basically like like not like or basically like bond together, but he took the shield, has a couple chinks, you know what I mean, like he,
yeah,
things happen, you know what I mean, got hit a couple times, but it never broke, you know what I mean, like he's
he's
still
still
maintaining and staying
staying.
strong, you know what I mean, so uh yeah, there's definitely some good lines. I know a couple of these last tracks I wasn't able to like really get to that much because like I said, we had
Gotcha.
it, we a whole nother review as well,
You're like
so
throwing some Boosie. I'd rather be with you when I'm. Oh yeah, when I'm high.
some
Yeah,
Bootsy Collins.
some old slappers with your girl. Yeah, so that. Um, yeah. Nah, I just know this overall that was a dope track.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also
that
the
was.
Outcast line too. That yeah was dope. Because I know back in that time, like they had a or we say out the dungeon like Outcast, but they had a whole group like I believe like Dungeon Family and stuff. I believe with like Goody Mob and stuff. That's when like Outcast kind of got the first like start. Like Goody
Yeah,
Mob was like with CeeLo and all them. Um,
CeeLo.
but yeah,
Yeah,
he was basically saying out
Rain
the
and all that.
dungeon like
Mhm.
Outcast.
Yeah,
So like that I just thought was a good little uh dope line that he had for sure. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for this review. Earl Sweatshirt, sick. You know what I'm saying? His fourth album.
see.
So now we'll get on to our top three favorite tracks. I'll say mine. Um, I had 2010 Vision, Tabula Rasa, and my honorable mention is Fire in the Hole, which is the last one.
Oh, okay. Nah, that's cool. Nah, that's solid. That's a solid take on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Fire in the Hole is my top track. 2010. Um,
Lie was crazy too. I almost would lie.
yeah, like and Titanic. I think
Yeah,
yeah.
Titanic definitely.
Honorable mentions will be the features basically though. Vision and Tel- Tabula Rasa.
Rasa.
Rasa. Rasa. But yeah, no, the honorable mentions is basically the features though, because they definitely did a thing. I just don't know of them too well, but it's definitely good to see how well they did on these tracks and then on their actual projects you told me about right now. I'm like, whoa, like I seen those
Yeah,
projects. They was out last year. I just didn't really know them well enough to play them all the
yeah.
time. So
At least, yeah, you got
like
something to listen to for sure.
yeah, definitely to venture out for sure. But nah, this was definitely a solid project. I mean,
We're going
people
to
think
this.
this album of the year already. I don't know.
Oh, people already dang. Because I'm
You know
getting
what
a lot
I'm
of
saying?
people. What I've been seeing too is a lot of people saying like they like the album, but same thing as me. Like I need time to let it grow a little more.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard it, I liked it straight from the bat. But like as far as the lyrics, even doing the review, like I'm like I need to give it some time to let it sink in. Like
Yeah, probably let
let
us
me
see
dissect it a
because you
little
said
more on
it.
my own. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought the production, you know what I mean, to the album was fire. To me the production of this whole album was just like, you know what I mean, it was very very dope. I did have this album on repeat for a little bit, like I just be playing it. um it gave me kind of the vibe of like, remember those days like we'll be looking for the underground artists in high school and stuff, like the sound of the album, it was that gritty, like that raw kind of emotion, you know what I mean, like I feel like it gave me that vibe of like those old mixtapes from back in the days and stuff like that, like
Oh yeah, nah, Earl days, yeah,
you know what I
the
mean,
mixtape days.
yeah, I feel like it was just that, like I said, that raw feeling. And I did like this album a lot. I think we will see Earl Sweatshirt again this year because it's such a short project, and we did hear him last year as well. Like I feel like we might see him with something with some maybe something small like an EP later in the year. with like
Mhm.
Alchemist or something. You know what I mean? I feel like we're gonna see something from him again. I feel like he's hungry. You know what I mean? So like even just from how he's rapping, like I could tell he's got a lot to say.
Yeah, he got
Um,
more to say. Mm.
yeah. And especially like, you know what I
No.
mean? Like I said, like I wish I could pick his brain and just kind of talk to him about like these lyrics, like kind of get a more understanding about it. I might have
Yeah.
to DM him, see if I could get him on
Yeah,
here.
see what's up.
Yeah, hop on the podcast, bro. We trying to
Have him
interview
on a
you.
podcast so we
Uh,
get the real insight
yeah, bro, that
of
would
these
be
bars.
that'd be crazy. But yeah, the rating.
Rating. Woo, the
mm,
rating. Rating.
Will you have anything to add before we get the rating?
I mean, not too much. I
I
mean,
got
no,
I gotta I gotta
it's a
think of mine because I have a
um
rating, but I'm thinking about switching it because I understood a couple of lines as we were going through
it's
it. While
I
I'm like,
mean, it is early though. It's
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 early,
one of those early albums of the year. It's
early.
January 2022. Um Earl dropped, and he don't really drop too much lyrics. I mean, he still got more things to say. Hopefully he got more features probably on the way too with other artists, and we'll probably
Yeah,
hear
I'm
him a
sure
lot more throughout this year.
facts. And he set the
Now
tone
this
too. Like I said, with him and Corday, you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like
setting the tone up
two
very
different
well.
styles. You know what I mean? Give us good hip hop albums. Like two
Yeah,
totally different hip hop albums in the year. So
yeah. Nah, it's still solid. It's still good. Yeah, just like you said, it's gonna take me some time
yeah,
to really love it and like it more. But I can go with my rating first if you want me to do that. You want me
yeah.
to go?
What's your rating?
I mean, I give it I mean, I'm gonna give it a solid like 8.5.
So, okay,
I thought it was pretty good. Definitely has potential in it. Um, it's still high up there. It's too soon for people to say album of the year. You know,
yeah. It's way
beginning
too
of the
soon for that.
year.
We don't even have no albums yet. Like this is we just getting started. Uh,
Uh, but it has potential. So more growth there. So that's what I would have to say.
yeah. I think I'm gonna actually. I think I'm gonna stick with my initial rating and keep it as an 8. I had it as an 8. Um, Same thing. Like, and for instance, I don't want people to look at the Corday album and because I gave that one an 8 as well.
Mhm.
But when I give these ratings, it's not necessarily like both albums are, you know what I mean, the same. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like an 8, and it's like a different way. Like I remember, I think I said something about that in the very beginning when we first did our album reviews. Like each album is different. Like you know what I mean, as far as like the concepts and the style. You know what I mean? Um, so I feel like for this, the reason I'll give it an 8 is because it is short and sweet and straight to the point. But I feel like there could have been more. You know what I
could have been
mean?
more. Yeah, yeah, it could have
Um,
been more.
You know what I mean? Maybe some longer tracks and maybe something just something a little bit more. I feel like that could have been added to it. So but 8.5, that's like great ratings, you know what I mean? I feel
Yeah.
like anything under a 7 is like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's like,
it
ooh,
wasn't. Yeah, nah,
yeah.
it wasn't. Nah, it wasn't bad at all. It was
So I think it's
definitely
a really
good.
good yeah, definitely
Definitely
set the
had
tone.
some standout tracks. Definitely had some moments with different features on here pretty well. Definitely will be looking into more of those artists later down the line. But those, but yeah, solid project, solid effort from Earl. Start of the
Fact,
year, banging out, showing his growth, showing his mindset, showing his effortless bars, effortless lines, being poetic.
facts.
Him doing his thing. So, um, yeah, that's why I got the job.
But yeah, once again, man, that's Earl Sweatshirt. Sick album out
Sick.
now. Go check that out if you haven't. And if you are gonna be, watching, once we upload this video, definitely let us know in the comments your favorite tracks off the album, your favorite bars, you know what I mean, all that good stuff. And yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, we got the Corday one dropping. We got the Corday one will already be dropped by the time you see this. Damn, I got like a hold on, I got a little FaceTime thing. Let me decline that. It's like popped up on my laptop, because I
Uh,
got that. It's like
oh,
it's like
connected.
connected. So yeah, it just be popping up. I'm like, whoa, hold up. Um, but yeah, that totally threw me off. But yeah, like I said, the Corday one will be out. Definitely check out our reviews before then. We have Benny the Butcher review, Freddie Gibbs, Nipsey,
Yeah.
um, Kanye, Drake. You know what I mean? Tyler
I
the
am
Creator.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
tired.
didn't. We did problem.
Nas.
We did problem.
Oh,
Not I am
oh yeah,
serious.
we did problem. My bad.
But yeah, Nas. Like I said, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we did
We got.
Nas though. Yeah.
This is only our 11th. You know what I mean. We already got 2 down, and the beginning of January. You know what I mean. So like I said, we're about to begin these albums. We're gonna make sure we get to a lot of them this year. And that's already 2 down, 2 big albums. Earl Sweatshirt and Corday. That's already 2 big artists. And we're waiting on who's what's next. You know what I mean. We're gonna see in
What's
February.
next? Yeah.
Like I said, we're not gonna react to everything. You know what I mean. But we're gonna get to a lot of the best ones and the ones that all 3 of us agree on reacting to. And like I said, yeah, I know you guys are probably missing Kev right now too. He will be back for Monday, our 1-year anniversary episode. So get ready for that. And definitely, man, these 2 albums we're releasing. Go check out our previous work and go check out our last episode as well. Episode 40, which is our last episode of the new year. So this is our first content drop in 2022, man. So yeah, definitely shout out to that. You know what I mean? We're definitely gonna be getting more
Yes,
content
sir.
out. And yeah, man, these
Yeah.
two reviews were fun. It was good to get back into the review bag. You know what I mean?
Process. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and yeah, man, like I said, like Darnell said, you know what I mean? People saying album of the year. You know what I mean? We gave him great reviews. Like, we'll see at the end of the year. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot
Now
of
we'll
music that
see.
can
There's a
drop. So
lot.
we'll see. We'll see if it makes that top 10 spot too. You know what I mean? Once we get to the end of the year, we do our top 10s. We're gonna be doing an award show this time too, because we're gonna by the end of the year. So we're gonna be doing a different, little different thing this time. So we'll see if Earl keeps one of those
Yeah.
spots. You know what I mean? So even Corday too. Corday could still, you know what I mean, could be up there. You don't know, but because
Yeah.
we enjoyed that
No.
album as well. But you got to watch that interview to see how we think about it. But you feel me? It's like, hey, you gotta watch that.
Yeah, you gotta watch that real quick.
But yeah, bro.
No.
You got anything to add to that?
Nah, just yeah, nah, just we had a dope interview. I said dope reviews. Nah, and we just looking for more content for these. And now I hope y'all liking these album reviews, and and then shout us out for y'all want anything else you guys want us to review. We be sure to try to look into it and see if we all agree on it. And
Yeah, facts.
now as well, look for more on the way.
Yes, sir. And also, I was gonna add something, but damn, I totally forgot. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you a question. What artists are you hoping hoping to hear the most like this year? Like as far as like an album, you know what I mean? Like who you hoping to hear a full album from? I know on the Corday he had a feature with Freddie Gibbs, and we were talking about Freddie Gibbs. So I know that's one. Who are a couple others?
Pusha T, Kendrick,
Mm.
Benny,
Yeah,
Benny the Butcher.
I think it's gonna be a good year for hip hop, bro.
Yeah, I just can't think of other people that's supposed to be dropping. I don't know, but that's what I got in my quota in my mindset. But I mean, I know
Yeah,
there's other people that will be dropping.
I need that
Those
man
are the people
Absol to
that I'm
drop,
hearing.
man. That
Who?
man
Oh,
Absol to drop.
absolutely.
Hey, Schoolboy Q too would be dope to see if he got something.
Yeah,
I think he's working
Schoolboy
on
Q.
something too. Wasn't he had like he was doing like a live with like snippets?
Yeah, he been saying he been working on stuff, but you never know when they're gonna be
Yeah,
dropping
with
those
TDE
TD.
especially. You never know what TDE is doing. But
You never know when they're gonna be dropping.
yeah,
So,
facts. But since we're
um,
doing an Earl Sweatshirt review, go check out our Tyler the Creator interview. I'll probably put that as like the little thing in the little at the end. Since
yeah,
that it's more relatable, you know what I mean, with the Odd Future. So yeah, man. This was a fun one. Definitely enjoyed reviewing this album. And we're definitely gonna have more content coming for the rest of the year. Definitely look at our Corday one that we just dropped. And check out Monday, episode 41. Pure Rap Podcast, 1-year anniversary, all that good stuff. And that's a wrap, man. Hey.